shouldn't I? We'll call it mind reading. Mind reading AI and retina scanning ID system. How about that? Now, I'm not sure many people are gonna want to look at this, but it's not so much crypto related, right? It's more tyrannical government, if it ever got control of this, might have a field day. I don't know. What do you think? Now, some people may disagree with giving up their retina, but some jobs, if you, for instance, use your biometric to sign in, you've already got that tied to a, work ID and to your ID and to a bank account. So this is not too far fetched. What the thing that I find fascinating is this is mainstream media, right? This is not this is not some like I can't even say alien chasing now because that's not even a conspiracy anymore. This is not fairies, this is not fairies and story time and fairy tales. That's the one. This mainstream media, Reuters, the future of money. All right. So if you ever had an email and you're like, what is this? Okay, read it, open, go. Okay, this is some interesting stuff. The interesting stuff is WorldCoin says will allow companies, governments to use its ID system. So you know that WorldCoin thing, now kind of crypto related. Just you could imagine, you can visualize a system put in place whereby governments use this actual technology to entice individuals to give up their retina and create a digital ID linked to you permanently forever, arguably on a blockchain. Now, you would want someone taking your identity or anything, but god damn, that sounds absolutely futuristic. Here we have in London, August 2nd, Reuters WorldCoin will expand its operations to sign up more users globally and aims to allow other organizations to use its iris scanning, sorry, not iris, I think that's the whole eye, and identify and identity verifying technology. So this is new tech, apparently. It's just been sitting around, I don't know. A senior manager for the company behind the project told Reuters. Co-founded by OpenAI, CEO Sam Altman. Why does that sound familiar? Anyway, WorldCoin launched last week, requiring users to give their iris scans in exchange for a digital ID. In some countries, free cryptocurrency is part of plans to create a digital identity and financial network. Brilliant, right? Brilliant. It goes on to say, in sign-up sites around the world, people have been getting their faces scanned by... It's not even just, oh my god, it's not even just the eyes. It's the entire face. Okay, their face is scanned by shiny spherical orb. Shrugging off privacy campaign is concerned about biometric data could be misused and patented. WorldCoin says 2.3 million have signed up, mostly during trial period over the last 2 years. Data watchdogs Britain, France, and Germany have said they are looking into the project. We are on a mission of building the biggest financial identity community that we can, said Riccardo Marcieri, General Manager for Europe at Tools for Humanity. Oh, that's a nice name. Tools for Humanity. The San Francisco and Berlin-based company behind the project. Now, if you could imagine this system being rolled out everywhere and connected to your phone and connected to when you go walking. Wonderful, right? Not creepy at all. WorldCoin raised 115 million from venture capital investors, including Blockchain Capital, 16Z Crypto, Bain Capital Crypto, and Distributed Global, and in a funding round in May. Okay, Marcia said WorldCoin would continue rolling out operations in Europe, Latin America, Africa, and all the parts of the world that will accept us. Okay. WorldCoin websites mentions various possible applications, including this distinguishing. I thought I was gonna say disgust. Oh, I said disgusting humans. Oh, like, oh my god, that sounds messed up. Including distinguishing humans from artificial intelligence, enabling global democratic processes. Oh my god, being able to vote. Can you imagine that? And showing a potential path to universal basic income. No way. Have you guys ever heard of universal basic income? Have you guys ever heard of like a system put in place that could lock you down, you know? I don't know if you have. I've heard of it. Hopefully the audio is not echoing too hard. But I'll put this out here. Man, this doesn't sound good, right? Can you imagine what would have happened? What would have happened if this was rolled out as a part of a medical treatment campaign? Can you imagine that? That would be insane, right? God forbid anything else ever happens like that. Now back to the content. Beyond my wild conspiracy theories, which are now being echoed by Reuters and are not conspiracy theories at all, because there is actual, this tech is being released, and incentivized, and stated reportedly that it could show a path for potential universal basic income. Most people interviewed the Reuters at sign up in Britain, India, Japan last week said they were joining in order to receive 25 free WorldCoin tokens. How much are these things worth? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Now, I don't think we're going to be the ones generating universal basic income. If we do, the infrastructure that allows for government. Oh my god. So imagine if you want your universal basic income or government payments, you just have to accept the CBDC and scan your retina, and all your data will be linked to your, I keep saying retina, or your entire face, the iris. A company would pay WorldCoin to use its digital identity system. For example, the coffee shop wants to give everyone free coffee. If think about the positives, right? It's all about, we've got to focus on the positives. Just pretend the negatives don't exist and they will go away by burying your head in the sand. Okay. So what if we just bury our head in the sand, you know, say like in Russia and Ukraine? Will that problem go away? I don't know. Now anyway, companies would pay WorldCoin to use its digital identity system. For example, if a coffee shop wants to give everyone a free coffee, then WorldCoin technology could be used to ensure that people do not claim one coffee in the shop without gathering personal data. Oh yeah, so it's not going to gather your personal data except for your unique iris and your facial scan. That's not linked to your personal data, which would be interesting if they can roll that out, but I just can't believe that it's going to stop there if that technology is what is taking place. Now it gets better, people. The idea is that we build this infrastructure. No, not this article. I'm saying my whole analysis on where this could be going. Now, this played out in a similar fashion in regards to some medical treatments, which turned out to be rolled out too early, and because the science researchers need data to research, that's why they're called scientists, they needed that to take place before they start rolling it out. It's like saying, well, if we have this WorldCoin and people start analyzing their irises, how many people are going to use it? And you're going to tell me before the trial period is over, the beta phase, that you know this? Really? Okay, it's not going to take you like, you know, say a year to maybe more rolling this technology out, and then you analyze what took place. Now, I'm pretty sure you need the you know, the information to be able to do that before you can create any form of story that took place. Anyway, what do I know? What do I know? Sometimes I wonder why I even bother. Companies would pay WorldCoin, use a system, you know, and that said to make sure that people don't double dip, okay, so they can't double spend, you know, like on the blockchain. The idea is that we build this infrastructure that we allow other third parties to use the tech. So they're talking about, so this is the tech, this is what we can do here. Do you want to use this? Can you imagine? Oh my god! Can you imagine if, for instance, you use an application, and or you need to take a photo of yourself to verify yourself, and that technology, without you knowing, is already built in, and that would mean your RS is already out in the deep wide web. Deep as the Marinara Trench? Is it the Marinara Trench? I don't know. Wait. Anyway, in the future, behind the IRS scanning the orb will open source. Marcy area added. The idea is that everyone can, in the future, build their own orb and use it to benefit. What? What do you mean everyone can build their own orb? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use my orb. I'm gonna put my front door. Yeah, cool. Not creepy. Okay, anyway. Now, privacy concerns. Regulator and privacy campaigns have raised concerns about WorldCoin's data collection, including whether data are giving informed consent and whether one company should be responsible for handling the data, because what happens if it gets out in the wild. WorldCoin's website said the project is completely private and that the biometric data is either deleted or users can opt out to have it stored in encrypted form. You know, it would never get out, it would never be hacked. The Bavarian State Officer for Data Protection Supervision has jurisdiction in the European Union because Tools for Humanity has an office there. Said it started investigating WorldCoin in November 2022 because of concerns about large-scale processing of sensitive data. No shit. Michael Will, president of Bavarian Regulator, said it would work to look into whether WorldCoin's system is safe and stable. Okay, so interesting, kind of good. People looking at it going, what the fuck? Project requires very, very ambitious security measures and lots of explanations and transparency to ensure data protection requirements are not neglected. Will said, can you imagine if governments pick this up? Okay, and you know, to like drive your car, for instance, and to make sure you're hitting your carbon quota, to make sure that you're hitting, you know, XYZ, you've eaten your amount of bugs this week, you know, your protein has come from reliable sources. Anyway, Will said people hand over their data need absolute clarity about how and why it's processed. Rainer Rehack, a researcher on AI and society at the Weizenbaum Institute of Berlin, said that WorldCoin's use of technology is irresponsible and that it's not clear what problems it would solve. I know what problems it could cause. I know how it could be used, you know. Bottom line is that it's a big project to create a new consumer base for Web3 and crypto products. He said Web3 is a term for hypothetical next phase of the internet based around blockchain in which users. Can you imagine if governments rolled this out and you needed to scan your iris and your face to access the internet to prove that you are on the internet? Can you imagine that? Does that sound like freedom to you? Does that sound like something you want? Or does that sound like a tyrannical nightmare? That sounds disastrous. That sounds awful. That creeps me out. I think that could be misused. I think that it will be misused. I think that it is being built right now, literally right in front of our faces with this technology, and people are not excluding it. Rather, the opposite. They're including it in their daily life. They are actively going out to get free money to use this, to give up the biometric data, to test this system in real time. That's my take on it, right? And that's not too bad, you know, you just giving up your identity, connecting it to, you know, your iris to make sure you're not double spending, if that's what the technology is used for. On the other side of the sword, it could be used for, as I said before, mass control, population tracking. Basically, everywhere you go and everything you do online could be used via this portal, which would be downright scary. Now, on top of that, this is, again, I thought was absolutely fictitious in terms of it's not possible. This is, I don't even know what to call this now, because a lot of the conspiracies seem to be coming true. So it's more like informed, empowered individuals who are analyzing data and speaking their minds. Maybe they're tapping into something to be able to foresee the future at a greater acceptance rate, at a greater hit rate, at a greater probability of being correct than others who don't even think about anything at all, who purely listen to the mainstream media, who purely listen to the news. Do they listen to the news? Everything's correct. Okay. Now, they haven't actually experienced it in firsthand, but because they read the news, they think they know everything. And you could turn around and say, well, dude, you're doing the same thing. Okay, but I'm also critically thinking and, doing research on top of that, not just consuming the information. I'm actually trying to critically think and logically apply my thoughts upon the information and the data points. Now, some people, they would say, well, I'm doing the exact same thing, dude. I'm watching the news. But hang on, if you're only watching one source of media, one mainstream media outlet that's been kicking along for this however many years now, century plus maybe, then what? Are you really, is your mind really free and open? And this is why the misinformation and disinformation bill is so concerning to me here in Australia, because things like this could be coming in the pipeline. A iris scanning, so I should change the name of this to iris scanning ID system as opposed to retina. Now, listen up. Google Mind reading. Now, I've heard of this previously. I hadn't looked into it too much further, but now here we go. Mind reading AI can tell what you're hearing by monitoring your brain signals in Erie experiment. Tell what you're hearing. How the fuck can it do that? And I had to sit back and really listen to this and go, hang on, it can tell what you're hearing? Now, this is not... I don't even know what to say anymore. What is a conspiracy theory at this point in time? Can you say they're the crazy tinfoil hat people that believe in UFOs? It's like, hang on, what's being covered now in the US Congress? What is it now? It's the iris scanning WorldCoin technology. Oh wait, I just covered that. Just literally just then. Oh wait, AI that can read your mind. That's just fake. Oh, okay, that's the US, the sun. Alright, so I'll continue on. I think I got someone watching. Thank you for tuning in. Now make sure you're not hooked in and the iris scanner cannot see, because now you have an iris scanner and the ability for AI to hear what you're listening to by monitoring your brain signals. Researchers have developed an AI-powered tool that can recreate music people are listening to during brain scans. Now, the findings were shared in a new paper published in the database RxViv that has not been yet peer-reviewed. Okay, I trust it's not peer-reviewed, but still sounding kind of creepy. Research, here we go, have developed an AI-powered tool that can recreate music people are listening to. Okay, so the AI, if it can... Okay. I'll continue. I'll breathe. I'll try and get the words to form, because this is getting creepy. The experiment, conducted by a team of researchers from Google and Osaka University in Japan, is the first of its kind. Scientists said the AI tool, called Brain to Music, works by analyzing brain imaging data from people who are listening to music. After examining a person's brain activity, the AI produces a song that matches the genre, rhythm, mood, and instrumentation of the music the subject was listening to. Brain imaging data that was fed to the AI pipeline was collected via a technique called functional magnetic resonance imaging. What the fuck? Now, to be fair though, it's like, hang on, I'm not going to sit in a brain scanner the whole time. But anyway, this is a type of imaging method that can show regional time-varying changes in the brain. In other words, fMRI can see which parts of the brain are active while persons listen to music and when. In the experiment, participants listened to 15-second music clips of blues, classical, country, disco, hip-hop, jazz, and pop. After data was collected, our program was trained to identify links between elements of the music and the participants' brain signal. Your thoughts are not even your own anymore. They're not free from being heard. The AI would then convert the imaging data into a form that emulates music from the original song clips. Now, I have heard of a AI that could look at you if you allowed it to, and it could produce what it was you were thinking. Now, I don't know if that's real or not, but this is not the article I'm talking about. I'm just from what I heard. Could Could be wrong, could be conspiracy theory. But this in itself is kind of creepy. Now I'll continue. The AI would convert the imaging data into a form that emulates the music from the original song clips. Researchers input the data into the AI model developed by Google, dubbed Music LM. The experimental AI tool announced by Google earlier this year works by turning your text descriptions, into music. The agreement in terms of the mood of the reconstructed music and the original music was around 60%, the study co-author Timo Denk, a software engineer at Google in Switzerland, told Life Science. This is pretty robust across 5 subjects we evaluated. Denk said, if you take to a new position and train a model for them, it's likely that it will also work well. Holy shit. So this is the beginning of some really fascinating technology that is being rolled out. Now this is not, it sounds like absolute science fiction. Google mind reading AI can tell what music you listen to based on your brain signals. Dude. How could this oh my god. Okay. So just think of some bad scenarios where you don't want what you heard of being scanned and re-replicated. I don't know if it can. Oh. The question is, how can it obtain the scans? Because that would be, you wouldn't want to give out that freely. But again, that and that technology and how it could develop. I'm not saying it is developing. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying that like I know of how it's going to develop with 100%. I'm just critically analyzing this information, and I'll try and find it ever so briefly. But what we are seeing in real time, to recap just briefly, is the WorldCoin system, not just trying to get free money to adapt the the orb for fun. They're literally trying to roll out this technology. And can you imagine if, for instance, if governments were to adapt this, if financial institutions were to adapt this, and other things that are linked to your personal ID? Can you imagine if it was required to log on to the internet, so everything you've ever posted online would be required? That's pretty scary, right? Yeah. Let's have a look. Here we go. This one here. And of course, it's from our friends at the WEF. Again, AI. Yeah, so I'm not going mad. But this is back in February 2018. This mind reading AI can see what you're thinking and draw a picture of it. What the fuck? This mind, okay, I'll read it. So this mind reading AI can see what you're thinking and draw a picture of it. How can you see what I'm thinking? The AI can? What happens if I scan my iris? If I make a live stream? Dude. So, I don't know if you guys remember this article. Scientists from around the world are racing to be the first to develop artificially intelligent algorithms to be able to see inside our minds. Back in 2018, a few years later, Google's mind reading AI can tell what music you listen to based on your brain signals. This is what they're releasing to us. So, could you imagine? Is there a possibility? Is there a small possibility that it has developed beyond what it is that they are sharing with us? I'm just pointing it out there because I like to think I can critically think. Now, I'll just pause this because I like to think, no. I'm not sure where this feed is pulling data from. Anyway, so we'll review this just briefly. The idea is not new in science fiction. In the 1950s, 60s, crazy doctors went frequently putting weird computations to people's heads to decipher their thoughts. Seen putting weird contraptions on people's heads to decipher their thoughts. And in real time, in the 3 days ago, Google's mind reading AI can tell you what music you listen to based on your brain signals. Okay. Goes on to explain British TV serial in which such a machine is used to translate thoughts of alien invaders. Prime example. Is it telepathy? Now, is it telepathy? Now, reality is catching up with fantasy over the past year. AI experts in China, the US, Japan have published research showing that computers can't replicate what people are thinking about you. Dude, using functional magnetic resonance, fMRI. Now, what is it mentioned here in this literal article? fMRI. Oh, look at that. Huh. Go figure. Live on string. This is how my brain works. Now, of course, doesn't mean I'm correct. Maybe you want to check this out yourself. But using that same technology, which brain activity, is linked to deep neural networks which replicate human brain functions. Is this telepathy? While headlines around the world have screamed out that I can now read minds as realities for your pro-sake, computers are not yet able to anticipate. Ooh, there you go. Not able to anticipate what we think, feel, or desire. As a science writer, going to say, remarked a bunch of times rather than telepathy. It's more acute thought through less catchy description would be reconstruction of visual field algorithm. Still, man, I don't know. I don't want my mind being scanned. I don't know how it's being scanned, and you can tell what I was thinking, what I heard, can't tell what I saw. It can draw a picture. This is some insane shit. All right. I don't know if you noticed this. I don't know if you're busy with some I don't know whatever's going on in your world. It's hard to sort of be over all of this because life is hard. Interest rates are high. Things are going to get worse. Rates, inflation, jobs, pay, income, mortgage debt, credit card debt. Positive crypto news? Well, it's kind of hard to find some at this point in time. And now we're seeing this rolled out. WorldCoin and its tech, along with Google's shit that's been continuously developed, apparently, with the same technology or technique that was talked about back in 2018. There we go. However, one recent piece of research from Japan's ATR Computational Neuroscience Laboratories in Kyoto, scientists said that not only was the program able to decipher images that had been trained to recognize when people looked at them, but our method successfully generalized the reconstruction of artificial shapes, indicating that our model indeed reconstructs or generates images from brain activity, not simply matches to exemplars. So I don't know if you guys heard of ChatGPT and things like that. Maybe there's some other things that's AI related that could help enslave us all. Yay, I can't wait. Is it already here? I don't know. In other words, it could decode and represent an image that had not been trained to see. Dude. Oh, that's interesting. Not quite the same, but isn't it fascinating that, a seen image, so this is an image that a brain saw, the fMRI activity feature decoder, deep generated network, deep neural network, decoder features, error, import images features, gives you a vague image, and that's back in 2018. And now they're saying not only images, but now sounds, audio, thoughts. I wonder, this sounds crazy. I don't know if you've ever thought to yourself out loud inside your head so no one can hear it verbally, but if you think something in your mind, maybe with your own voice, I'm not sure what voice you hear in your head. Sounding crazy here, but just imagine if technology was able to do that and understand that and hear that. That would be pretty intrusive, right? I think it would be. And maybe, is that where we're heading? I don't know. But that's kind of some interesting things to think about. The same tech talked about in 2018, WorldCoin, its tech, and now where we are with the AI. Yeah, I think it's more important than ever to be aware of these things to try and change this timeline, because I don't like where we're going. All right, free speech, Info 13, signing out.